All right, y'all. Feel me? Back with another one. Feel me? Today we're gonna do like a little update about the whole young boy situation with his brother. So this video is young boy confronts the OG3 for leaving Ben 10 to die. It's pretty explicit, you know. It's pretty like graphic. It sounds pretty bad. But let's see what he really did. If he actually really did this, you know what I'm saying? Let's see if he actually really did this. Let's go.
Just responded to getting called out for leaving Ben 10 to die, and what he said got the whole internet looking at him.
Do y'all really think like knowing the whole situation, do y'all really think like he got left to die, or did he like, you know what I mean? Cause realistically he was the aggressor in the situation. He was the aggressor in the situation. Do you really think he got left to die? Do you think it was just like, you feel me?
Crazy. Not a denial, not an alibi, not even a real explanation. This man said, and I quote, "Being a leader is not easy. Your man is in the hospital fighting for his life, getting revived on a table, and you come back with leadership quotes like you running a Fortune 500 company? Nah, fam, nah." NBA YoungBoy saw that response and said absolutely not, went straight at OG3's neck, no filter, no hesitation, called him out by name for leaving Ben 10 laid out and running like a straight up hoe. And the streets been waiting on this moment, because this ain't just about one incident. This goes deeper than one night. This is about loyalty, about who's really built for the life they claim, and about a man named Ben 10 who almost lost everything while the person who was supposed to have his back was somewhere else. Y'all need to hear this full story, because the media ain't giving you the real breakdown. So let me break it down for you. Every detail, every layer, every piece of evidence from the beginning. Before we get into the confrontation, before we get into what OG3 said and why the internet lost its mind, you need to understand who these people are and why their relationships matter. Let's start with Ben 10. Ben 10 is one of NBA.
My nigga Ben 10. Y'all know Ben 10 with the watch? Y'all know Ben 10 with the watch? That's my guy right here.
YoungBoy's closest day one affiliates. Not a hanger-on, not a random face in a music video. A real one from Baton Rouge who has been in YoungBoy's circle since the early days when YoungBoy was still grinding his way up from nothing. Ben 10 is the type of person that people in the streets refer to when they say, real recognize real. He's been in the trenches, been through the legal battles, been through the ups and downs that come with being close to one of the biggest names in hip-hop. His loyalty to YoungBoy wasn't something.
I'm gonna keep it all the way at being. I did not know who the fuck Ben 10 was before this shit happened. I'm not gonna lie to you at all. I will not.
That needed to be announced. It was demonstrated.
If y'all know who that was, let me know, please.
Consistently over years. That matters. Because when something happens to somebody like Ben 10, somebody who has put in real work and demonstrated real loyalty, the people around him are supposed to match that energy. That's the unwritten code. That's what separates real ones from the ones just along for the ride. Now OG3, full title, NBA OG3, is an older figure connected to YoungBoy's camp. The OG tag is supposed to mean something. It's supposed to signal that this is somebody who has been around, who has experience, who younger members of the circle are supposed to be able to look up to and trust. When you put OG in front of your name, you are claiming a level of authority and respect.
I'm about to start saying OG Neaks, yo. Fuck it. OG Neaks, bro. What? Don't talk back.
Responsibility. You are saying, without saying it directly, that you are a leader, that you have wisdom, that you are somebody the younger generation can lean on when things get real. OG3 has positioned himself in that role. He has operated in that capacity around YoungBoy's circle, been present for events, been part of the culture around one of the most documented artists in hip-hop history. And then there is NBA YoungBoy himself. YoungBoy never broke again. Kentrell Deshaun Golden needs no lengthy introduction, but context matters here. YoungBoy is not just a rapper. He is a cultural phenomenon from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, who built an empire on authenticity. His music is raw. His life has been raw. He has faced murder charges, federal weapons charges,
Producers, this plugin helps you finish your tracks way faster. Check this out. I'm gonna start with this loop that I made.
Multiple arrests, custody battles, label drama. And through all of it, the thing his most loyal fans keep coming back to is that YoungBoy keeps it real. He does not pretend. He does not perform loyalty while being disloyal. He says what he means, and he means what he says. So when YoungBoy decides to publicly confront somebody, especially somebody in his own circle, that is not a small thing. That is not clout chasing. That is YoungBoy seeing something that violated his personal code and refusing to stay quiet about it. That is the stage we are working with. Now let's get into what actually happened. Here's where the story gets heavy, fam. And I need y'all to follow this timeline closely because the details are everything. Ben 10 ends up in a situation, a violent situation, where his life is genuinely on the line. We are not talking about a minor incident. We are not talking about something that got exaggerated by blogs and social media. We are talking about a man who ends up in the hospital in critical condition, getting revived, as in medical professionals are working to bring this man.
Making it sound like homie got rebooted, bro. Like if we playing Fortnite in this motherfucker, yo. They talking about some revive. My man need to get the goddamn reboot card, nigga. Bugging out, man.
Back from the edge. That is the severity of what happened to Ben 10. Now here is the question that the streets immediately started asking. And it is the question that eventually becomes the center of this whole confrontation. Where was OG3? What happened in those moments when Ben 10 needed backup the most? What went down in the time between the incident and the hospital? The word that started circulating, and this spread fast across social media, across hip-hop commentary pages, across people who know people who were there, was that OG3 was present or near present during or around the time of the incident involving Ben 10. And instead of standing firm, instead of doing what an OG is supposed to do, instead of holding it down, he ran. Not a tactical retreat, not a strategic withdrawal where he went to get help. Ran like a hoe. That is the language.
See, now that's OD. Now, they calling him a what?
Streets use. That is the characterization that spread and stuck because the people.
He ran like a hoe? Are you saying that? I ain't gonna lie, man. That's crazy. They playing with him, yo. Playing with this gangster with that one. That's OD.
Who were talking about it were people who had credibility in these circles. And while OG3 was somewhere else, Ben 10 was fighting for his life. Let that sit for a second. Your man's, somebody in your circle, somebody you are supposed to be an OG figure to, is on a table getting revived and you are nowhere to be found. Not calling for help, not staying by his side. Gone. That is not just a violation of street code. That is a violation of basic human loyalty.
Nah,
that is
I understand it though. Because, you know, if y'all all street motherfuckers, you feel me? Y'all together, yo. No matter what happened, you gotta stay there, gang. No matter what. Mind you, his name is OG. He original gangster. So he gotta be there. But he was not there. Wait, was he even like in like when everything happened, was he even there? Like, is that what they're saying, that he was there and then he like left?
Kind of thing that once it comes out cannot be walked back, cannot be explained away with a press statement or a social media post, cannot be smoothed over with it's complicated or you don't know the full story. The streets know.
Yo, I know you ain't liked the video yet. And I know you're not subscribed too. You think you slick. You think you're just gonna be sitting here watching shit without subscribing and liking the motherfucking video, huh? So do me a solid. Go ahead and hit this button right here. Right? You're gonna exit out of full screen. And then I need you to like the video, and I need you to also subscribe. Okay? You gonna do that for me? I'll give you a little bit. Don't even trip. I'll give you a little bit. That should be enough time. You should have subscribed and you should have liked the video by now. Okay. One last thing too. Follow my Instagram too. Neaks. I'll put it up. I always put it up. Go do that. I'll give you another second. That was enough. If you need more time, just pause the video, go do it, come back.
What it looks like when somebody shows their true colors under pressure. And what happened that night painted a picture of OG3 that his OG title could not cover up. Here's where it gets crazy, and I mean genuinely crazy, because most people in YoungBoy's position, one of the biggest names in music, somebody who has his own legal situations to worry about, somebody who has consistently shown.
Is it true that YoungBoy has like 1,000 kids? I seen somewhere that bro has like 16 kids. Is that true? Like, does he just be nutting and shit and just leaving? Like, 16?
He is trying to navigate a complicated life, might let this play out quietly, might handle it internally, might not bring it to the public. YoungBoy did not do that. YoungBoy came out and addressed OG3 directly, called him out, used the language we already talked about, running like a hoe, leaving Ben 10 to die. No ambiguity, no coded language where you have to read between the lines. YoungBoy said what he said and made sure everybody knew who he was talking about and what he was accusing them of. This is significant for multiple reasons. First, YoungBoy does not make these moves without being confident in what he is saying. This is a man who has been through enough legal situations to understand the weight of public accusations. When he steps up and says somebody did something, he has reasons for saying it. Whether those reasons come from direct knowledge, from people who were there, from conversations he had after the fact, YoungBoy does not guess. He speaks on what he knows.
Stop glazing.
Second, YoungBoy calling out OG3 is him drawing a line. In his world, in his circle, in the culture he operates in, this is him saying publicly, this man is not who he claimed to be. The OG title is revoked. The respect is gone.
That's like taking the black card away, yo. He said the OG title is revoked. They took his black card away. Can't say that word no more. He no longer OG, he just a regular motherfucker.
And anyone who is still giving OG3 the benefit of the doubt needs to recalibrate. Third, and this is the part that really matters, YoungBoy is doing this for Ben 10. This is loyalty in action. Ben 10 almost died, and while he is recovering, while he is going through whatever physical and emotional aftermath comes with nearly losing your life, YoungBoy is...
He didn't die? What the fuck? I thought he died. Wait, no. No. I thought he dead ass died. Nah, I gotta look this up. What? Ben 10, NBA YoungBoy. YB. Did he not die? He's paralyzed? Oh shit. Damn, Mud. That's fucking tough. It's fucking tough. Aggressor turned to a victim. That's fucking crazy. All prayers go out to him though.
Making sure that the person who abandoned him does not get to walk around with an OG title and a good reputation while Ben 10 bears the scars of what happened. That is what real looks like, fam. That is the standard that YoungBoy is setting with this confrontation. Now let's talk about OG3's response, because this is where the whole thing becomes a culture moment. When you get called out publicly by someone with YoungBoy's platform and YoungBoy's credibility in the streets, you have options. Let me walk you through what those options are, because OG3 chose the worst possible one. Option 1, you say nothing. You stay off social media. You let the moment pass and handle whatever needs to be handled privately. Not the boldest move, but at least it does not add fuel to the fire. Option 2, you come with receipts. You produce an actual explanation, actual evidence, actual testimony from people who were there that tells a different version of events. You say, here is what happened. Here is what I did. Here is why the narrative being pushed is wrong. Hard to do, but if your story has truth to it, this is how you defend yourself. Option 3, and this is the one that should not even be on the menu, the one that no self-respecting OG should ever choose. You respond with philosophical deflection. You say something that...
I understand I'm in college and everything and whatnot, but what the actual fuck does that mean? Like, what the hell does that fucking mean? Philosophical deflection. What the fuck does that mean? Like,
could ever choose, you respond with philosophical deflection. You say something that sounds like it might be deep but actually says nothing. You try to reframe the conversation away from your specific actions and towards something abstract and vague. OG3 chose option 3. Being a leader is not easy. Family, FAM. Being a leader is not easy. That is the response. That is what OG3 decided to put out into the universe after being accused of leaving Ben 10 to die. That is his defense. That is his explanation. That is what he leaving. That is what FAM. OG3 chose option 3. Being a leader is not easy. Family, FAM. Being a leader is not easy. That is the response. That is what OG3 decided to put out into the universe after being accused of leaving Ben 10 to die. That is his defense. That is his explanation. That is what he came with after YoungBoy publicly called him a hoe. Let me explain exactly why this response is one of the worst things he could have said, because some people might hear that and think,
I don't even understand what the fuck he said, bro. That shit made no sense at all.
Okay, at least he said something. No, this is worse than saying nothing. This is so much worse. First, being a leader is not easy implies that he accepts the leader title. He is not disputing that he had responsibilities. He is not saying, I wasn't even there, or I don't know what they're talking about. He is effectively acknowledging that yes, he was in some kind of leadership position, and yes, something difficult happened, and his explanation for how he handled it is that leadership is hard. That is a confession wrapped in a motivational quote. Second, and this is the part that broke the internet, that statement does not address a single specific allegation. YoungBoy said you ran. YoungBoy said you...
Everybody got something to say, but why would I want anything to happen to on my birthday with my mother? Yeah, I tried to die. What the fuck? Why would I want anything to happen on my birthday with my mother, baby sisters, and brothers, and their kids, and y'all trying to justify something when I try to de-escalate the shit? That could be possible, but it's like, my guy, if you were trying to de-escalate shit, homie would have never got, feel me? Homie would have never got, like shot and shit, you know? But that's not the case. Homie got shot, and then you know what I mean? But let me know if y'all understand, like, what he's saying. Because if this happened on his birthday, and, like, his mom and shit was there, and his, like, family, then maybe it's understandable.
Left Ben 10
like,
to die. OG3's response does...
I'm not done talking. It would, be understandable to why he, like... Nah, I don't know, bro. I feel like he's an honorable man, but it's like that street code. You gotta stick by that, bro. I feel like once you get signed to the streets, bro, you can't really get out.
Not say I didn't run. It does not say I was there until the end. It does not say here is what I actually did. It says leadership is hard, as if that explains anything, as if that is a defense for anything, as if Malcolm X or whoever he is trying to channel in that moment would co-sign leaving somebody in the hospital while you bounce. Third, the streets read that response as guilt. Not maybe guilt, not possible guilt. When somebody...
So homie was in the hospital and you weren't at the hospital with him? Is that what happened? Shit, yo, I'm so confused. I'm genuinely so fucking confused, bro. I don't understand what's going on. Was Benson in the hospital and then this guy, OG3, and then, like, he left the hospital? Or was it that, like, OG3 was there when the whole altercation happened and Benson got shot? And then this motherfucker just was nowhere to be seen afterwards. If that's the case, then I understand 100%. And no bullshit, if one of my brothers got popped, and then one of their homies was with him, and homie wasn't at the hospital with him, it's either you're getting the lick back, or you're in the hospital. And he wasn't doing anything. So it's like, I'd be pretty frustrated too. I understand.
Get specifically accused of something specific, and their response is a general philosophical statement, that is the oldest tale in the book. That is what...
Yo, have y'all noticed that whoever the fuck is, like, the voiceover behind this, he's using some big-ass motherfucking words, bro? He is using some big words, yo. I don't know what the hell he's saying.
People do when they cannot deny the specific thing. They talk around it. They elevate the conversation to a level of abstraction where the specifics get blurry. The street's been watching people do this for decades. You cannot slide that past people who grew up reading body language and subtext as survival skills. The internet went crazy when that response dropped. Not in a wow, what a profound statement way. In a this man really just tried it way. Comments were coming in from everywhere. People who follow YoungBoy, people who follow hip-hop drama, people who don't even know these names, but immediately understood that somebody just tried to weasel out of accountability with a bumper sticker quote. And then YoungBoy saw the response, and YoungBoy was not having it. Here's the real tea, and this goes deeper than just OG.
Here's the real tea. Here's the real tea. You know when you hear that, you about to hear some good shit. When motherfucker be like, here's the tea. Oh my God, let's go.
3 versus Ben 10. Because if you zoom out and look at the broader picture of what has been happening.
Parents of children who play Roblox.
Are you dead
If your
ass,
child
bro?
was
Get the fuck
sexually
outta here with the
exploited,
motherfucking ass,
abused,
bro.
or pressured
We're trying to hear the
around
fucking
YoungBoy's
tea.
circle over the last few years, a pattern starts to emerge that makes this whole situation feel like an inevitable conclusion.
Hey, chat. Let me tell you something. Look at me. Hey, look at me. Y'all think NBA YoungBoy has, like, the craziest fan base of, like, all rappers? Let me know.
Rather than a random incident. YoungBoy has been one of the most prolific artists in hip-hop for years. The streaming numbers are...
What does prolific mean? You see what I'm saying? Like, he's using big words, bro. I don't know what these mean. Like, he's been losing me this whole video. Well, I've been watching this for 12 minutes. He's been losing me the full 12 minutes. Like, what the hell is prolific, bro? Use English.
Historic. The fan base is enormous. The cultural footprint is undeniable. But with that level of success and that level of notoriety comes a very specific kind of problem. You attract people. Some of those people are real. Some of those people are there because of what you represent, what you can provide, the status that comes with being in your orbit. And the hardest thing in the world, not just in hip-hop, not just in street culture, but in life, is figuring out which people in your circle are the first type and which are the second type. Because the second type is very, very good at looking like the first type right up until the moment when it costs them something real. OG3 presented himself as the first type, an OG, a leader, somebody with wisdom, experience, and real loyalty. He wore that identity. He built that identity. And for however long he was in that position, people gave him the benefit of the doubt that comes with the title. But here's what the streets have always known. Titles do not make you real. Positions do not make you loyal. What makes you real is what you do when the situation gets critical, when there is genuine danger, when staying means risk, and
what makes you real is what you do when the moment gets critical. Fuck yeah, I love that bar.
leaving means safety. That is the moment when the real ones and the fake ones separate. Ben 10's situation was that moment for OG3, and OG3 failed it completely. Now think about what that means for everything else OG3 has ever claimed. If he could leave Ben 10 in that situation, what does that say about every other time he presented himself as someone who would hold it down? What does it say about the counsel he gave to younger members of the circle? What does it say about every decision he was involved in where his reputation as an OG gave him influence? The credibility does not just take a hit for the specific incident. The credibility collapses backward across everything because authenticity and loyalty are not partial. You cannot be mostly loyal. You cannot be kind of real. The moment the mask slips in the most critical circumstances, the whole thing unravels. YoungBoy understands this. That is why he did not just address the incident. He went at OG3's whole identity, the OG label, the leader framing, the whole presentation. Because if you let somebody falsely maintain that identity after something like this, it poisons the well for everyone around you who does have real loyalty. Let's talk about what comes after a moment like this, because the confrontation is not the end of the story. The confrontation—
Damn, he had the iPhone, what was that, like the iPhone 7? Yo, I ain't seen one of those in years.
The beginning of a new chapter for Ben 10, and this is the most important part, the part that sometimes gets lost in the social media noise. This man went through something traumatic, getting to the point where you need to be revived, where medical professionals are working to keep you alive. That does not just go away when you leave the hospital. The physical recovery is one thing, the psychological weight of what happened, including the knowledge that the person who was supposed to be watching your back was not, that is a whole different battle. What YoungBoy did by publicly addressing this is significant for Ben 10 beyond just the streets knowing the truth. It is YoungBoy saying to Ben 10, you are not forgotten. What happened to you matters. The person who failed you is not going to get to pretend like everything is normal while you deal with the aftermath. That is a form of real support that goes beyond anything material. For OG3, the being a leader is not easy response has done more damage to his reputation than almost anything he could have said, because now the narrative is locked. He cannot come back and say I was misrepresented because his own words are the problem. He cannot claim the streets have him wrong because he responded to a specific accusation with a deflection so obvious that even people who had never heard his name before immediately clocked. What typically happens in these situations in hip-hop culture is one of two things. Either the person doubles down and the drama escalates to a point where it becomes something bigger, more dangerous, more irreversible. Or the person goes quiet, tries to let the moment pass, and accepts that their reputation in this particular circle is done. The OG title, functionally, is retired, because nobody is going to look at OG3 the same way after this. The people who were giving him deference based on that title are going to recalibrate. The people who were taking his counsel, following his lead, treating his word as that of a senior figure, they have seen what he does under real pressure. For YoungBoy's circle more broadly, this is a clarifying moment. Every time something like this happens, where the real test comes and somebody fails it publicly, it forces everyone else to look at themselves and at each other. Who in this circle has actually been tested? Who has actually shown what they are made of when it counted? Who has been performing loyalty versus demonstration?
I feel like the question has to be answered on if this if this other crew had guns too, cause like if they didn't have guns, they were all just sitting ducks and shit, you know. But like if they had poles, which they should have had poles, and shit could have really just been a whole massacre. It could have just been pow pow pow. Just could have been a Fortnite lobby, just pow 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 pow. Hide in the car, reloading. You know what I'm saying? Some Call of Duty shit.
Frustrating it, and YoungBoy has never been afraid of that question because his own record speaks for itself. He has taken losses publicly, dealt with serious situations, faced genuine danger and legal jeopardy, and his
my man's just sipping out of what, 3 cups? Nah, that's some new shit.
Has seen how he moves through it. The standard he sets for himself and for the people around him is high. And when someone in that circle dramatically fails to meet that standard, the response is exactly what you saw. Not silence, not excuse-making, direct public accountability. Here's where we zoom out, fam, because this situation between YoungBoy, OG3, and Ben 10 is not happening in a vacuum. It is happening inside a culture that has been wrestling with questions about loyalty, authenticity, and what it actually means to be real for as long as hip-hop has existed. The OG title in hip-hop and street culture comes with one of the heaviest weight structures of any informal designation in the culture. When you are called an OG, when you accept that title, you are accepting responsibility. You are saying, whether you say it out loud or not, that you have wisdom earned through experience, that you have loyalty that has been tested and proven, that the younger people around you can rely on you in ways that their peers cannot provide. You become a load-bearing wall in the structure of a circle. When an OG runs, when an OG leaves somebody behind, it does not just damage that one relationship.
He's a runner, he's a track star. He going away when it gets hard. Let me stop before I get shot.
It compromises the entire structural integrity of everything they represented, because the trust that was placed in them was not just personal trust. It was institutional trust. It was the trust that the whole concept of an OG is built on. And here's the thing about trust in high-stakes environments. Once it breaks, it does not repair. Not fully. You can rebuild something functional. You can have conversations and come to understandings. But the version of trust that existed before the moment of betrayal, the version where someone would follow you into a dangerous situation because they genuinely believed you would not leave them there, that version is gone permanently. This is why YoungBoy's response matters culturally beyond just this specific beef. He is publicly enforcing a standard.
That's a tough-ass hoodie. I will not lie. Where you got that motherfucker from?
He is saying, in front of everyone who follows him, in front of...
Yo, if y'all know what type of hoodie that is, can y'all let me know, please? I want that.
Everyone who looks up to his circle, in front of the culture at large, that this standard matters, that it will be called out when it is violated, and that a motivational quote about leadership is not an acceptable substitute for actually showing up when it counts. No cap. That is a message that resonates far beyond Baton Rouge, far beyond NBA YoungBoy's fan base. It resonates because the question of who is really there for you when things get critical is a question that every single...
No, yeah, I'm about to make a song too, bro. Fuck it, I'm about to make a song too. Me and my homie gonna make a song. Me, Lil Zay, and J Rome's. We all gonna make a song. Don't even trip.
Single person watching this video is wrestling with in some form.
This game...
Some bullshit, yo.
You're not...
The names and the specific circumstances are unique to this world, but the underlying human truth is universal. Real recognize real, and fake gets exposed under pressure every single time, without fail, without exception. The circumstances change, but the principle never does. There is also something to be said about what YoungBoy specifically chose to call out. Not just the act of leaving, but the leadership framing. By targeting the OG identity, by refusing to let OG3 hide behind...
Snoop Dogg! Let me show. Y'all see the date right here? Y'all see the date? And then you see Snoop Dogg and you see the date? I'm just saying.
Behind a title after failing the substance of what that title represents, YoungBoy is making a broader point about performative versus authentic identity, about the difference between claiming a role and living up to it, about how in certain environments, the people who talk the loudest about being leaders are sometimes the first ones gone when leadership actually costs something. The culture has watched this play out with artists, with street figures, with people who built entire identities around codes they turned out not to follow when it was real. Every time it happens, it reinforces the same truth. You cannot fake your way through the genuine moments. The mask comes off, and once it does, nothing is the same. So where does this all land?
What is that, Justin probably, right?
What is the state of play after YoungBoy confronted OG3? After OG3 responded with the most self-incriminating non-defense in recent hip-hop memory? After the internet processed all of it? Ben 10 is recovering. That is the most important thing. The man who was at the center of this, who actually went through the physical
I just know homie's gonna make a song as soon as he's good and rap about how he got shot, he lived, and emotional ordeal that sparked all of this. He is alive.
He is working his way back, and whatever that recovery looks like, he does it knowing that his most important affiliation, his connection to YoungBoy, responded to his situation with real loyalty instead of silence.
Yeah, mine.
OG3 is sitting with a response that he cannot walk back. The being a leader is not easy line is going to follow him. It is already a meme. It is already shorthand in these communities for what not to say when you get caught slipping. Whether he makes another statement, whether he tries to clarify, whether he disappears from public, the first response said everything the streets needed to hear. YoungBoy keeps moving, because that is what YoungBoy does. He does not sit in moments. He does not marinate in the satisfaction of calling someone
why are you glazing him, fam? Like, what are you, like, why are you glazing, dog?
out. He puts the truth out there. He does it with full force and full clarity. And then he keeps going. The music continues. The circle tightens around the people who have proven themselves. The people who have not are handled accordingly. And the culture watches and takes notes, because moments like this are instructive. They remind everyone paying attention that the principles which matter, loyalty, showing up, refusing to leave your people behind when it gets real, are not decorative. They are not for interviews and Instagram captions. They are tested in the moments you did not plan for, in the moments that cost you something, in the moments where the easiest thing to do is exactly what OG3 did. The real ones do not take the easy option in those moments. That is what separates the real from the rest. YoungBoy has always understood that. Ben 10 demonstrated it with his loyalty over the years, and OG3 just showed everyone watching exactly which side of that line he falls on. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do y'all think OG3 can come back from this? Is there anything he could say at this point that would actually change the narrative? And is YoungBoy right to go public with this, or should it have stayed internal? Let me know where y'all stand, because the conversation is just getting started. And if you are not subscribed...
Alright. Listen, y'all. That was that. I feel like... I mean, YoungBoy go on the internet. I mean, he went on the internet himself, too. But, like, you know, I feel like it was, like, bound to happen because, you know, they're all influencers at the end of the day. They're all, you know, people that other people look up to. They're all public figures. So it was obviously going to, you know, spill into the media. It was obviously going to happen. It was only a matter of time. But, you know, in his case, you feel me? What he said doesn't really, like make sense. Like, I guess if he had his family there, then that's one thing. But it's like, if that's your homie and he's in the hospital, you know, you should probably stay there, too, if you didn't have his back, like, beforehand. I don't know the details. I wasn't there, you know, but my man OG is not OG no more. He just 3. But, yeah, bro, it happens, fam. If y'all like the video, like, comment, subscribe, bro. Comment, like the video because you like it, feel me? Comment what y'all want to see next. Comment your ideas. Let me know what y'all think about the whole situation and shit, too. And then subscribe. Road to 1K. At 1K, we going to do something special, I promise. At 1K, we going to do something special. But until then, you feel me? we just going to keep grinding it out. But just hit that subscribe button, and we going to keep going. we going to go hard every day. New videos every day. Follow the Instagram, j.neaks, on TikTok, on Instagram. And I think that's what it is on Snapchat, too. If not, I'll change it. But... feel me? Go ahead, do that so you guys can keep up with the latest. Turn on your post notifications so you guys don't miss up on another video. And yeah, just enjoy the journey with me, man. We gonna go hard. We gonna go far. You feel me? Love y'all boys, man. Y'all be safe. Have a great day. See what today is? You have a great motherfucking day. All right, I'm gonna catch y'all.